Hey guys, sorry for the bad lighting. I'm not in my best today. And sorry for the appearance. Again, sorry, not sorry. My goal is to be raw and to show what goes on with chronic pain behind closed doors during the good and the bad. And I did have a overly busy weekend, and that is one of my toxic traits is not knowing when to stop because I love being active. Again, this was not something I was born with. I've only been fighting it for 5 years, where some have dealt with it all their lives, while others, the majority of their lives, going on decades. So I know I can't really complain that much. However, again, I wanted to show you my boy, Diesel. He's tired, if you can see him. That's my baby. This man. Yeah. He's throwing a fit. Doesn't want to say hi right now, but that's okay. He's a busy boy. Again, he is my ESA as well as my pretty much let me see if I can get better lighting. He is also somewhat of a medical alert, as he does tend to alert me when, my nerves are acting up. And this is one of the things that it does. And I wanted to do this before I have to cling to my walker because it's just not in my best interest to try to take a video while I have to do my walker. But when my legs get tired, if you can see, when I try to lift them, they'll shake. And that's not fake. It's not a joke. I literally can't control them. They only start to stop as I start to drop them down. But yeah, that's what they do. And that's just, that I've overdone it. They are heavy, which is why I do struggle to get in positions. I'm going to see if my boy will at least come cuddle with me while I do this video. Diesel, come here, baby. This man. Come on, boy. My chair is electric, which does help. Come on. There we go. He came and cuddled with me. Come on, lay down. There's my boy. Yeah, we like to do this quite often. He is definitely an ESA, and I'm not sure if he's going to sniff or not. That's usually when I'm overdoing it. He'll sniff my legs and let me know. Yep, see, there he goes. Of course, not, but sniffing my foot like he just did, that's kind of what he does. He'll sniff the outside of my legs when he knows that they're not doing good. And that kind of tells me that, hey, I need to slow down. He also won't play like now. He knows I'm not doing good, so he didn't want to get up and play, but he did get up to cuddle with me. But one thing I wanted to mention is, like one of the things I strive to do, yeah, he loves Levins. One of the things that I strive to do is to, make others smile, bring a light to others. You never know what others are going through. And when I'm doing good, you can't tell that I have problems. You can't. I do walk fine. I do have to wear flat shoes. I can't walk in heels, but when I'm doing okay, which is essentially first time of the day, I do okay. And my worst regular symptom when I don't overdo it is that my back does get overly tired. Yeah, he knows I'm not doing okay. He actually just got through sniffing my leg, which does, tell me. I'm trying to show that if he'll do it again. But anyways, it's never the end of the world. And I, again, have had to fight depression, borderline suicidal depression. And I actually faced a day where I was ready to pull the trigger. It's not worth it. It's not. I thankfully had a counselor at that time that reminded me of some medication I was on at that time. And so I did give it a few more hours, like 24 to 48, to let this medicine get out of my system. And my ultimate goal is to help, even if it's one person, to help save a life and to remind you, if you are debating suicide or have suicidal thoughts, it's not worth it. The only thing that suicide can guarantee is, like, one, I wouldn't have been able to go to the carnival that I went to, which I did post a video on. I would not be able to be helping my mom had I done that. I would not be able to be helping anybody that I care about or to be that advocate. And I have been fighting this for going on 5 years, and my ultimate goal is to be a chronic pain advocate. And I do eventually hope that I can get up to the children's hospital to visit them, because as a chronic pain patient, I know it's not cancer pain, and it's not even close. I can't imagine a child going through this kind of pain. And this boy right here does tend to attract autistic children. This weekend, he did attract not only autistic, but also a blind child. And I only know that he was blind because, one, he wasn't looking directly at Diesel. He did ask his questions, like what color is the boy or is the dog? Is he a boy or a girl? And I was able to tell him all that, and that's what did tell me. But I do think that he did, he was able to see shadows because he was able to go in his direction, and it took him a minute to find him. And if you do have an animal and you are wanting to take it to the dog, to see children, keep in mind that a lot of times their face being close to that means that they could possibly bite. And I've actually had more results turning his rear towards the child and letting the child pet his tail or his rear, because they know the chances of getting bit are less likely there. And that essentially is, the fear of a child is getting bit. But back on the nerves, it's not regular. It's only when I overdo it. I wake up just fine, able to go about my day like any other person. I just can't last all day. My most regular symptom is feeling compressed, or like if your back is tired after a long day at work, in the field or even doing yard work, your back might start feeling tired and you have to lay down and rest it. I get that on a regular basis and within seconds of me standing up. And I have had to show that in a video doing my meal prep, I think it was. And so I do have to rest. But we all know, and if you don't know this, you can actually Google this. But if you do Google anything, make sure you watch your sources and make sure that the sources that you are following are accurate. Just because it's a .com doesn't mean that it's not accurate. You just got to make sure you know who you're looking at. Like if it's a doctor, chances are it is a .com. But even .org is not always a reliable source. But most of us do know that gravity does take effect on our backs and it causes us to compress. And yes, when I am vertical and upright, I do tend to wear out a lot sooner. And a lot of times I have to lay my head like this because even my head can get heavy sometimes. That's why my hair is cut. I did have it long and about down to my shoulders and my shoulder blades even. And I did try to cut it up to my ears, give myself an undercut for a few months, probably close to a year before I cut it. And I even thinned it out. So if you do have back or neck problems and you do have long hair, try that. Try giving it a cut. You might feel better. When I got mine cut just 2 months ago, it was almost instant relief. I was fighting headaches a lot, and a lot of it was because of my neck. And the minute that all that weight came off, it was literally instant relief. Like, honestly, the front part of my hair on the videos where it is fixed, you can see this. Yeah, he doesn't stay up here very long with me. That's okay. I let him do him. He's allowed to do what he wants. For the most part, I hardly ever have to get onto him. But he likes to lay back here, where he's closest to me. So, but anyways, if you are struggling and you do have long hair, try to come to terms with it and know that it will give you relief if you do end up cutting your hair. And believe it or not, I hate this hairstyle. I do have family that's tried to convince me to do this for the longest time, and I never wanted to, but I ended up cutting it for my medical purposes. But back on to chronic pain. Even if you're not suffering from chronic pain, you may be having depression. And that is the goal of my videos, is to remind people who do have chronic pain, battle through each second, each minute. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And even if you do suffer depression but not chronic pain, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is work. There is purpose in your existence. Trust me, I get it. It's hard to find that sometimes. But the main goal of my videos is not the subscribers, it's not the comments, and it's not the likes. I don't care about any of that. And really, I didn't want to go this route. I have actually been trying to figure out how to be a chronic pain advocate without going on YouTube for the longest time. But the problem is, I can't always get out. You know, my legs, they're an issue sometimes. And for the most part, I can't count the number of times I've been out with my family. I feel the warnings. I got to go home. And that's one of the reasons why we do take my scooter, is so I can last longer, which I named him Johnny 5. And that's another thing too, is try to find the fun in the bad. Turn it around and make it good. It's a lot of it is about attitude, 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 attitude. And if somebody reaches out to you and needs help, do everything in your power to give help if it's within your power. Okay, if you had a career and your chronic pain caused you to have to stop, or you just reached retirement and you fought through the chronic pain, kudos to you. Kudos to you. Pat on the back. But even still, if someone reaches out to you in your family or friends, and there is something you can help with. Like, for example, my career was in typing. I was in call centers. I've been behind a computer all my life. I did have family reach out to me for a very important situation for them, and I was their go-to person. What took them a few months to do only took me 2 nights, and that's just because I had to break it up because I'd already spent 2 hours on the computer and I was tired and needed to go home, and it was late in the day. But what they tried to do for months, I was able to help them to do for years. And it actually helped in 2 different locations, or in 2 different areas. One, it helped me with the situation from when I was a child that took me until that happened to find my peace in that situation. That's a story for another day. And 2, it took the stress load off of them. I was able to do it. Why not? Get that attitude. The attitude of, what can you do? How can I make this better? What can I do to bring a light to others? Again, I don't want to be on YouTube, but it's what I got. The Children's Hospital is actually where I really want to be, but I can't get there right now because 1, the distance. 2, there's a waiting period. However, there was an assisted living center not far from me, or is an assisted living center that is within my grasp. So I took what I wanted to do and took it to that location. So figure out, how can you make this happen? Okay. Again, since I'm not able to get out much, this is where I go. It's not my preference. I don't want to be this public, but work with stuff like that. Work with what you got. And quite frankly, I would love to see more chronic pain, more people who suffer from chronic pain, spreading a light and helping even just that one person. If these videos help even one person find new purpose in their reality, or help them fight depression and borderline suicidal depression, that's my only goal. So again, sunny side up, how can you tackle this goal? What can you do? Yes, you're limited. No, not everyone's going to believe you. But the beauty in that one, even, as I've stated in other videos, you owe answers to nobody but your friends and family. In fact, believe it or not, I even have family, one person that does think that I do use my condition to get out of things I don't want to do, or I milk it. No, I don't. But you know what? All I tell them is, I wish you were right. Because I'm sure when you do get comments like that, you don't really hurt that bad. This isn't as bad as you say. I would be willing to bet those people are not going with you to your appointments. And I'd also be willing to bet they're not hearing what the doctors are saying. And I'm pretty sure you are the only one who knows what your body is telling you. So, do you wish they were right? I'm pretty sure you do. So just tell them that. I wish you were correct. And also, as stated in another video, again, there's a woman that I met about 20 years ago online, whom I've never met in person, but we're pretty close. And we talk on the phone all the time. She knows my history. She knows what I've been through. And she has seen this take place as well. And she pretty much, through the internet, watched my children grow up and knows, even the children that I didn't bring in this world but helped raise. She knows them. And one of her acronyms that she likes to live by is to not jade. Justify, argue, defend, or explain. Don't do it. It's so peaceful. If you don't owe an answer, don't worry about giving it. Okay? Don't worry about it. Now, another reason why attitude does make all the difference in the world is because we all need help in this crazy thing called life. We do. Don't be afraid to give it. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for it. And don't be afraid to give it. Okay? The people around you will eventually know your heart. They will eventually know what you really want to do and what you truly are after. And if giving it all you got is what's really in your heart, it's going to show. Actions speak louder than words. Faith without works is dead. They both mean the same thing. So give help as you receive it. And if you do have people who do want to give you help, try to find some way to give back. Like another example I have is there is these two beautiful friends I have that do meal prep in a way that I never expected, and details don't need to be on here. I couldn't ever repay them for how they've helped my husband and I, but what they do is their mission, not my story to tell. However, they wouldn't let me give back in the way that I tried. So instead, I tried to reach out to external sources to help them with the supplies that they use. I didn't get the response I wanted, so I'm reaching out to another organization to see if I can get the assistance that I can't provide. And believe it or not, I'm getting quite a response from that. So again, even if you can't give back in a way that you want to, try to find some way to give back. Always be thankful. And if somebody can't help you for any reason, okay, just be happy for the help that you did get. And be truly thankful. Again, none of us are in this on our own. And if you do have problems, feel free to come to my channel. That's why these videos are up. And if you do choose to, try to reach out to me personally, if I get enough comments on that, I know not many people want that stuff to be public. So if I see that it's a necessary need, I will create a personal and private email in order to be able to do that. So anyways, you guys have a great painless night. And again, sunny side up, glasses half full. How can you accomplish something? How can you make that happen? What can you do to make someone else's life better? Distractions actually give the same result of pain medication that pain medication actually gives. I forgot what the chemical that is released in our bodies when we're happy. But it's true. That chemical gives you the same pain relief that you would get from an opiate. Now, I will say, as one who's tried medical marijuana, it was overrated for me. It didn't work like that. But if it works for you, great. I am glad for you on that one. But again, sunny side up, glass half full. How can you make this happen? Y'all have a great night.